Mark Carney will be Donald Trump's greatest ever nemesis. Both have really and truly vastly different political agendas. And Trump wasn't wise to really and truly be so happy about this guy's election as Canadian Prime Minister. Currently, as a Canadian, I can tell you that this place is doomed under Liberal leadership, and I'm not looking forward to Carney's stint as Prime Minister. I mean, I don't even know where this guy came from out of nowhere and started winning everything like Doce. And believe me, I think it's all connected. You see, the issue is Trump doesn't understand the atmosphere in Canada because he has been focused on the American landscape, and Carney was very clever in highlighting that his agenda in terms of border and trade was in line with Trump, which I don't think is true. Liberal politicians are just bold-faced liars like that. Right now there's what you call a Punjabi invasion in Canada, which is bizarre because it's what this Maxime Bernier, some guy who is now labeled as Mad Max. You never know that he was actually a cabinet minister in the Harper administration, to how he's now be made of as a mockery in the Canadian political landscape, even by the Canadian Conservatives. You know, the Canadian Conservatives is not right wing enough to really save the traditional values of Canada, which Carney I do think has a mandate to disrupt. Yeah, like Canadians, especially Anglo-Canadians, are not really proud of the culture no more. I mean, they still follow the Leafs and the Flames are their sports team, you know, but I can't tell you one popular Canadian show right now. Even in the underground, you know that Trailer Park Boys with the cult classics. You have Carney shop with you know, you have a lot of production, Canadian production used to occur. That type where you understand Canadian culture from, you know, a boring, polite, sarcastic viewpoint, like the Carney shop, what's a Carney store, what's the Carney Gas series, which I didn't really, even though I don't really take a liking to, I really appreciated. I think the guy being character was Brent, but I don't even remember his name. But when I just came to Canada, those programs were like in your face, as this is what Canadian culture is, especially in a small town setting, and it wasn't all that repulsive as what's being done to Canadian culture now, which is a normalization of just degeneracy, you know. And most white Canadians still think it's called acting black. Scholars call it eugenics. I call it a garbage culture, and it wasn't invented by black people, but we'll leave that for another day. Back to Donald Trump versus Carney. Carney has a mandate, and his mandate is to oppose Donald Trump. And this will be one of the most divisive era in Canadian history, Canadian-American relations. And here is the reason why. There's going to be a divide within America, and there's also going to be that same divide in Canada. Right versus left with regards to both sides. And this was evident in the election lost by Pierre Poilievre when he got a fallout with Trump. Most Trump supporters, like myself, never really voted for Poilievre because we really and truly don't see him as a populist enough to really and truly earn our trust. So, in conclusion, I look forward to the battle, and it's always and it's always gonna be around the pettiest of things. I think Carney made a very good first strike when he explained that Canada is not for sale. Like he explained eloquently, and then this is where Donald Trump should really and truly be cautious. Mark Carney explained so eloquently that there's some places that are not for sale, like the one they were sitting in, which is White House, Buckingham Palace, and Canada, which two is a house, one is a country. But I think he was skillful in correlating the what you call it, the entities. And Trump has to really and truly watch out for his ability to articulate a point. And way more sophisticated and advanced than Trump's ability to articulate a point. Donald Trump has his strength, but in some cases he has weaknesses. And one of his weaknesses is Mark Carney's strength. Now, we Canadian Conservatives are really looking forward to this guy's leadership because we see an uphill battle against him. Now, the Liberals have been hard to get rid of because the Canadian Conservative Party have yet to really put a candidate forward that has really garnered the momentum to defeat the Liberals. The Liberals are strong culturally, they're strong bureaucratically, and they're strong, can I say, rhetorically or institutionally in terms of media. I don't know if most conservative medias are just like what you call tabloid magazines. Really, you have Rebel News, all these entities, but they really and truly cannot really have the reach as the CBC. Well, all in all, the history was written, and this is the Carney versus Trump era. And in terms of trade, as I have done a video before, I never expected the trade to really affect, the tariffs to really affect Canadian consumers. Because most of the things that the Canadians consumer, most of the things that the Canadian consumer consumes are homegrown, or food, homegrown, and a lot of other stuff, homegrown, or entertainment. Not really entertainment, but we have a lot of stuff that we do here where we don't have to really and truly go to the States for and all that type of stuff. And in terms of the real trade is between China and Canada. Now you see, no one is going out and buying cars. This is a deep recession that everyone is denying. You know, mortgage is so high now. The last thing everyone is looking for is a high car payment. New cars I won't be selling for a while, and if you follow the used car, the car market, you realize there's a phenomenon of over size inventory at most car dealership, and the interest rates and a lot of other factors make them unaffordable. Furthermore, they've priced these vehicles out of the reach of the average man. I mean, they'll still give you a car zero down, but God bless you on the payments. So the tariffs is just about like a smoke screen to just truly be used. It's like a tree card being used by the both political like leadership of Canada and America to really and truly take the highs off the bad economic situation that we are in. And many say it's a global recession, but I think it's far worse in Canada and America, because the thing about the COVID-19 and as well as this what I think is a fake Ukraine war is that it has put a burden on the spending, and a lot of money was printed, and this country, North America, really and truly overprinted, and now the inflation is out of control more than any other nation, any other region in the world. And and the fact that most of the Canadian and American culture is used to over consumerism, there won't be the discipline to like mediate the recession is really and truly not there right now. And by the time everyone becomes aware, it's gonna be, if not too late, it's gonna be really and truly devastating. And there are measures I'm really taking to really and truly mitigate the risk of me not surviving this recession. The risk of how should I put that? How should I really and truly like survive this recession with one of the softest landing possible? And I do intend to make money during the recession, but money is hard to make when no one is spending. So the tariff came at a time when really and truly the tariff won't be as effective, but it's not effective economically, but it's effective psychologically, because many people are going and they're seeing this price increase, and they want to blame it on Donald Trump, when in actually it was inevitable, because they've printed so much money, they have made the dollar useless, and so much people are going unemployed, and it's just a issue. It's just a big issue. But I don't think Donald Trump or Mark Carney is here to save the world. Like, Trump has good intentions, but because he realizes that the American people need somebody to fight for them. However, what is occurring right now needs a type of genius. Like, would need the greatest leader in history to guide both countries out of this recession. And right now, with the distraction of media, with the pettiness of Pope, Trump pictures, Pope Trump pictures. That is what a reporter really brought up at a conference. Like, is Donald Trump going on AI and making pictures of himself as a Pope? How did politics get so petty? But yet, it ended up all in mainstream media, all over. Everybody was talking about how Donald Trump did not denounce the picture, why Catholics are against Donald Trump. And I'm like, whoa, bro. Come on, man. You got to really and truly realize that this is nonsense. This is not journalism. But to each his own. Let the ball play. But Carney versus Trump, the era has begun. The era has begun. As for Canada, the Conservative Party needs to go back to the table and ask themselves, how did a guy who started campaigning a month ago, well, maybe over a month, but compared to how Polyev have been batching Trudeau, where all the people have been saying, the Canadian people have been saying, fuck Trudeau. He should have even won his seat in Ottawa. But he blundered. And he has severely paid. But this is the divide in terms of conservatism. Conservatives want a leader. And they want a leader that is resilient against this biased media here in Canada, where you can't even see the news on Facebook. That is how, like, this is 1984 and steroids. And CBC is the Ministry of Truth. But to each his own. Let's see.